How's it going, guys? I still can't hear you. Okay. All right, you're really excited. I'm excited you're here. So every day, you guys, whether you have a student group on your campus or not, being pro-life, you represent a growing national grassroots movement. Do you guys know that? You do now, right? And if you don't have a club on your campus, it's time to start one. There's plenty of students around the room who have clubs on their campus you can talk to me, but we must act, you guys. It's time to do more. Leaders see injustice and they do something about it. William Wilberforce said that you can choose to look away, but you can never again say that you did not know. When you have a Students for Life club on your college or high school campus, you must not only understand that you play a part in a national movement, but you also must know that you guys are creating a movement on your campus. You're not just a club that hangs out and talks. You guys are creating a movement on your campus and bringing the national movement to your campus. So there's nothing stopping you or your club from being the revolution you wish to see. So do you envision a world without abortion? Do you see that? What does that look like? So you're creating that movement, but what are you guys doing to create a tangible difference in the lives of students and peers on your campus? So you guys must remember that you are leaders now. You can't be afraid to speak up, share the truth, never back down. You may be the only truly pro-life person that somebody ever meets. Your friends at your school, you never know who's in earshot of the conversation that you're having. Great leaders are people who don't back down in the face of opposition. And have you guys seen the movie Selma yet? What? Okay, go see the movie Selma. It's about the March in Selma, Martin Luther King. Okay, if you guys watch that, there are so many correlations to the pro-life movement. But during this march, there's something you guys should pay attention to, is Martin Luther King demands of people, whether they're white, black, otherwise, he says, we must join together and march for this injustice. And they were willing to be beaten. They were willing to be spat on. Are you guys willing to get to those extremes? Are you? Woo! Oh, good. Never underestimate what one person can do, you guys. You can change your campus. You can change our nation. So we look to the example of Martin Luther King, and we see that he dedicated his life to creating equal rights for all. All right, so I'm calling you to be the leader you are meant to be, to dedicating your life to creating equal rights for the preborn. I'm asking you to consider if ending abortion is something you're willing to live for, stand for, and fight tremendously for. Be fearless, you guys. It's not easy being pro-life, right? You're not always gonna have people agree with you, but be fearless and don't take no for an answer. Dr. King wrote that nonviolent direct action seeks to create such a crisis and foster such a tension that a community which has refused to negotiate is forced to confront the issue. It so seeks to dramatize the issue that it no longer can be ignored. And that's what we want to do. We can no longer stand by while others ignore this travesty that pro-choicers call sacred. We have a responsibility to bring into their conscience the thousands of babies who are slaughtered every day and the men and women who are left silent and scared. Some of the greatest activists of our time were controversial, right? Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, William Wilberforce. Do you think they were popular or well-liked at their time? When they first started? No way, right? They were spat on, thrown in jail, ridiculed, assaulted. Are we willing to get to those extremes, right? But do you know what? They knew that their work would change the world, and it did, right? The end is near. Abortion has been legal since Roe v. Wade for 42 years, and that is 42 years too long. I'm appalled. Are you guys outraged? Yes. Are you outraged? Yes. This is not okay. Let's not have to do the walk again next year unless it's celebrating that Roe v. Wade is done, right? Moving forward, you guys, you must know, though, we're not creating controversy, right? When we talk about abortions, people say, this is unnecessary. You're creating controversy. We're not. We're merely bringing to the surface, bringing to light this controversy that exists in our culture, and we're making people see it for their own eyes. So as we commemorate the 42 years of legalized disregard for the dignity of all human beings, we must do more than just be pro-life. The tide is turning. We are not the future of the pro-life movement, you guys. We are the pro-life movement. Do you believe that? Do you? Will you join us? Will you commit yourselves to go above and beyond in furthering the culture of life in a nation that promotes a culture of death? Will you bridge the gap on your campuses, in your communities that lack resources for pregnant and parenting students? Will you be there for students who have had abortions or had friends who have had abortions? Will you offer hope and illuminate truth as a movement on your campus? And will you join us in making abortion unthinkable? Woo! All right. Are you guys ready? All right. You guys get to hear from some awesome students of ours with Students for Life, and hear some things they've done, get some ideas, and get ready to get out there and change our nation. Woo!
You guys, I'm so excited to be here today, and I just want to thank you for coming. I'm the president of Corbin Students for Life. I'm Bethany Jansen, and I'm going to share with you a little bit about what our club's been doing this year. One of the things we did last spring was we hosted a whiteboard, which out on the lawn, a lot of people walk by that area, and it said on there, how do you feel about abortion in the case of rape? And as a Christian college, we realized that this is one of those extremely tough topics. And so we wanted to start a discussion on this, and we encouraged people just to write down what they thought about it. We got a lot of different varying thoughts written on that, and also a lot of great conversations that were started. One of the thoughts that was written on there was, my adopted brother's biological mom was a rape victim. One of them was pro-choice. Quite a few of them were actually pro-choice. And you would think, coming from a Christian college, that most of the people would be pro-life, but that is not the case. Maybe you're in a youth group, and you think that all your friends in your church are pro-life. That is not the case. We need to help and encourage our friends who maybe are on the fence about this issue and help them to stand for life. Another awesome thing that our club's been doing this year is going to our local Planned Parenthood clinic. And we've been praying and sidewalk counseling. We take a rose and we hand it out to them. And we also hand out, with this rose, a card that has information on it, pregnancy resource information. And we pray. And we hold loving, peaceful signs. Some of our club members in a second are going to show you what some of those look like over here in the back. Like, there is another choice. Love. Signs like life. And so, these are some of the things we do to show that we're there to help the women. When we were there a couple of weeks ago, there was actually a car that decided to go to the local pregnancy resource clinic instead to get a pregnancy resource test, to get a pregnancy test. And so, that's exciting. We go when there's surgical abortions happening. We found out when that is, and that's on Fridays for our clinic. And so we go during this time. One of the times when we were there was an ambulance that came. And the ambulance took away a person on a stretcher. And it shows the sad reality that abortion does hurt women. It doesn't only hurt the unborn women, the unborn men. It also hurts the women physically, mentally, emotionally, and we need to be there. We need to be there with the women who've had abortions, and we also need to be there for the people who haven't had abortions and encourage them to choose life. Thank you so much. You guys are the pro-life generation. We are the pro-life generation.
Hey all. I'm Caitlin Counts. I am the president of the Pro-Life Club here at Portland State. Like we've been saying, you are the pro-life generation. What does that mean? Well, we have a couple goals for our club. One of them is to educate people about abortion. There's so many people my age even who do not even know what it is. We go out there in the rain and the wind, handing out flyers, this is what abortion is, and they're just like, okay, then what? Put a little positive spin on it. That's another thing I would want to recommend to all of you. Give them, not say abortion is bad, it is, but say, here are the resources, here are pregnancy centers you can go to get help, okay? it's very good to be positive. And Nathan, he's going to talk about some of the events that we've done. Yeah, here we go.
So first off, let's see. St. Joseph the Worker, shout out. Yep. All right. So, as Kaylin just mentioned, my name is Nathan. I'm a member for the Portland State ProLife. I also helped found the club, and some of the things that kind of struck me. So, being a student at PSU, very liberal campus, and so we've had a lot of threats, so to speak, and a lot of turmoil with us. And one of the things that was, I believe, one of our biggest victories was being able to get the Planned Parenthood Project when exposing them for who they are as an abortion industry. And the other thing that we had was, what about rape? And we've had that talk every year because I think it's a very important topic, and a lot of us, including myself, was kind of skeptical about, like, well, why not? Like, if it's in the case of rape, then like, it should be okay. But at the same time, I went on a retreat, and that kind of changed my perspective, and that was great. So yeah, you guys are all awesome. I'm the pro-life generation. You guys are all the pro-life generation, and yeah, there you go.
Hi everyone, my name is Melody. I'm from Lynn Benton Students for Life in Albany, Oregon. And last term we just went out in our quad with like a whiteboard and just posed the question, should abortion remain legal? So it's a very you don't have to put a lot of prep time into it. You just get some markers, take a board out there, get your group members out there, have your sign that says Students for Life. So we just had that open for people to come write whatever their thoughts were on that. And so, I feel like even if people were in a hurry to their class, they saw that sign. They saw us out there, and they saw a bunch of young kids behind the table saying with signs like, "We are the pro-life generation." And I feel like just make yourselves known on your campus. You don't have to put a lot of time, a lot of money or resources into making really successful and really thought-provoking events. So that's what I would say. Just get out there, start being active, and contact Students for Life America for more help.
Hello, everybody. I'm Benjamin Carlson. I'm the president of the Clackamas Community College Students for Life Club. This is my first year being an official. Last year I was involved, but we were a bit slow. There were a few members. It wasn't quite well organized. And so this year has been a bit of a reboot. And through all of this, we have learned something very important and pivotal in reaching out to people. And that is through compassion and mercy. We are not going to reach the unborn unless we reach the mothers. There's no way around it. There are a lot of mothers out there who are going through a bunch of painful and hard situations. They have family who reject them. They have friends who reject them. They seem to not know whom they can trust. They don't know where to get resources and get real help, because we look at it and say, you were in a wrong relationship, or you have done a wrong thing. And by pushing them aside, people have put them in a worse circumstance than if they had done otherwise. So what we need to do is be understanding. We have to listen to what they are going through. We have applied this to everything that we do, all events, all of our tabling events. And we want to say, hey, communication is crucial. Why is the divorce rate so high in America today? Because lack of communication. They're not willing to talk about the issues that are important. like money, for instance. That's the biggest one in marriage. Now, abortion is an important issue facing this nation today. But we should not just stand back and let something run its course. This is very important, and it will not get better unless we communicate it. But in this communication process, it comes both ways. And we have to understand that there are people out there who do not fully understand the situation and that they might have been hurt because of this situation. We have to hear what they say, but we will stand up for what is right because we are really helping them by giving them the truth. We are really helping them by showing them what is right and standing up for life. It is not just the life of the baby involved. They are blameless in this situation, and we are going to do everything we can to protect them. But there are so many more lives involved. And we cannot forget them. And when people realize that we have a compassion, that we are really for life, they understand that we're here to help. We're not a group of people trying to push on a bunch of regulations that they can't uphold. This is something doable, and we have to be there beside them to help them along in whatever way we can help them. So I encourage you all to set up a pro-life group at your high schools and colleges if there isn't one already. And if there is one, join them. And use these, I don't want to call them tactics exactly, but really have an actual heart for all involved. That's what it's all about. We are the pro-life generation.
Everybody on your feet. We are the pro-life generation. 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 We are the pro-life generation.